Hi there and welcome to my channel Simply Stocks, and today I'm going to talk about a mid-cap company, not a small cap but a mid-cap company, a smaller company. You could call it a small cap, but it's not a micro cap, a decent company in the pharma domain, in the chemicals domain. It is an ancillary play in that segment. So we'll discuss about this 7-8 thousand crore market cap company in detail. Let's get started. First of all, a disclaimer that this is not a stock recommendation. People taking any position to any share that I talk about should that with your own due diligence and research. And I'm not in favor or against any company that I talk about. I'm not a portfolio advisor officially, and I'm not a member of the NSE and BSC. So any buying or selling decision you take purely on the analysis of my videos or on watching my videos, kindly take that on your own discretion and consult your financial advisor before you take any call with respect to putting in your money into the equity markets or into the capital markets in any way. So that's the call. Disclaimers, all the disclaimers do apply. Before I talk about this company, a small request is kindly support me on Patreon. Once you do that, help grow the channel, help you also ask me questions and eke out answers in detail. Plus, you can have access to my portfolio, and I'll make better videos on YouTube, more detailed videos on YouTube. You can have interaction with me on messages, and you have access to whatever changes I make to the portfolio, plus the sectors or the, you can say, economic situation globally that I discuss with different podcasts. You'll have access to different podcasts there as well. All our economic and global market discussions do take place there, so you'll get a lot of content on Patreon as well. Now let me take you to the screener website and this company. So the company in focus today is GMM Fodler, 6,700 crore market cap company, trading at around 1,500 rupees, and it came out with their numbers just recently, a week, 2 weeks back, and gone through their con call. It was a detailed con call and gone through their presentation as well. What it seems like is that the worst is over for the pharma industry, and we are seeing that happen across the board in yeah, across, you can say, mid cap and small cap pharma stocks, which have come out with dismal numbers, but the stocks have went up, and so GMM came out with very decent set of numbers. If you look at year on year, quarter on quarter, and there have been improvement on the top line and bottom line, and the stock surged after that, although it is trading at the same levels or slightly below that from the time it has surged. So we'll discuss technically as well as fundamentally about this stock. So basically, what does the company do? So it manufactures corrosion resistance glass lined equipment. It is a leading, you can say, supplier of process equipment to the pharmaceutical and chemical industries. And over the years, GMM Fodler has diversified its product portfolio to include mixing systems, you can say filtration and drying equipment, engineered systems, and heavy engineering equipment. So they are basically making equipments and glass line equipments for all the pharmaceutical, you can say, industry, which makes APIs and products. So it's a pharma ancillary play. Plus, in the chemical industry, also the same equipments are used in research and development, and so this is where they export into. They have export units across the board, across the globe, in Europe, US, Australia, New Zealand, Middle East, etc., and they export to across the globe as well. So we'll just first look at the numbers, and then we'll discuss about the charts as well. So before I talk about the numbers, here's you can say a briefing on what happened today. So basically, a large player in GMM Fodler exited today with selling 13 to 14% stake, and that is why if you look at the volume picture here, around 1 crore shares traded today, and this is purely because of the trade that has taken place in the morning, in the first hour of trade, when the stock fell around 10-15% and around 10-12%, and it was a large stake sold by an FII and a large stake bought by an FII. So I think 11% stake was bought into, and 13.5% stake was sold into in open market, and that is why the stock fell to all the way to 1380 but then recovered and eventually closed around 1510, 1510 what level. So there have been virtually no movement, but what happened today was a large player exiting, another player getting into the stock. Coming back to the quarterly numbers, in the June quarter on a consolidated basis, they had done around 912 crores, whereas in June of 2022 they did around 740 crores. So this was a very decent jump, if I say. uh, if I look at it from perspective of year on year, they did around 23.5% a jump. Even on quarter basis, they did around 6 7%, 7% quarter on quarter increase in sales. But we have to look at year on year because some of their quarters are really good, probably the second and third, and the first quarter is not that big, and yet they did exceptionally well because the margins expanded to around 14.4%, whereas it was around 13% last year. So that also contributed, and margin expansion was due to operational efficiency. That's what the company is talking about. And eventually, we had profits of around 86 crores versus 83 crores last time around. This was the profits came out lower because of depreciation, higher depreciation of around 8 crores, and you can say higher interest cost of around 20 crores, this time around 4 crores more. So that was one of the reasons. Another point here is that in June 2022, they had other income of 28 crores, whereas in June of 23, this time around they had other income of 9 crores. So it was exceptional other income that came in. 28 30 crores is a big number for such a company, and normally they do between say 5 to 10 crores, and also so they did 9 crores. So that was why the bottom line seems same. The bottom line, there is not much change at all in the bottom line, but in the top line there has been tremendous growth, and that's why the stock surged eventually. uh, so this time around, what the management is guiding for is in FI, you can say 23, 24, they are going to do around 15, 17%. That's what they are saying, although they did 23, 24% this quarter. So I believe that they are going to come out with around 18% of growth this time around, and a similar growth in FY25. And that is why we are looking at a situation where they could do 4,000 crores by FY25, which is way more than their target of 37,750 crores that they targeted earlier. So it's more than that. In terms of EBITDA, we believe that they'll do. So they did 431 crores this time around. They should replicate this 130 crores over 4 quarters. So that comes out to be 520 crores. Taking that into consideration, I see a decent jump in, you can say, EPS from around 37 rupees. I believe that the EPS could end up being closer to somewhere around 43 rupees, 44 rupees eventually, or even more than that. I think 20 to 25% growth in profitability is very much possible in FY24, and that is why I believe that the stock is not trading expensive at all. If you say that the EPS could be closer to say 47 rupees, then we are looking at a situation where the stock at around 1510 is trading at around 32 times. Even if I say a 20% growth on 37 rupees takes place, and the EPS is around 44 and a half, then we are looking at a situation where the stock at around 1510 rupees is trading at only 33 34 times, whereas normally GMM Fodler, if I look at on the PE basis, and this is what I had actually earlier taken out, so on a 3 year basis, the PE is normally around 74. uh, Even on a 5 year basis, the PE is around 60. So even if I take a 60 PE on that 44 rupees EPS, then we have a situation where the stock could trade at 2600, 2700 rupees. So that's my target over the next 18 months. I think the stock could go up 60 to 70% over the next 18 to 24 months. Although again, this is just an assessment. You need to do your own analysis and find out, but I believe that the PE expansion could again take place if a couple of quarter of numbers do happen. So that's the caveat, that the numbers should continue to be good. If that happens, then we are looking at a situation where the stock could surge even further. There is borrowing for the company, so there is debt. Kindly take that on note, that that's you can say a downer for the company. In terms of shareholding pattern, 38.7% is with the promoters. FIIs reduced their stake by a percentage point in the June quarter, and DIIs remain stable at around 10.7%. So uh, although promoter do not have a huge stake in it, but FII DII holding do pertains that the stock will not be that volatile. So overall, fundamentally speaking, at these levels there's little downside in my opinion, although anything can happen in this market if the market collapses. But one can look at this company from a 2 year point of view. That's my call. A 60% upside is a possibility. Now, looking at technically, I believe around 1500 to 1550, there is immense support. If I look at a 3 month daily chart, then you'll have an understanding that the stock surged between 11th and 15th August. Uh, from 1450 all the way to 1600, and then has come down, so now is at reasonable levels. If you look at the 20 and 50 DMA for the stock, and I normally look at exponential moving averages, 1480, 1470, 1480 is a strong support. Big up move expected above 1600, so that's the call. 100 rupee higher above 1600, it could really perform well. So that's GMM Fodler for you, a 7,000 crore market cap company in the you can say chemical pharmaceutical space, doing really well. So this is a video on GMM Fodler. Please like and subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon so you can get a video straight away when I post it. Kindly support me on Patreon. Thanks a lot for watching.